Well, good morning, everyone. And I think I mentioned in the comment video today, I didn't know what I was going to do for a video today. And I mentioned I'm not going to be able to get my medications because there's a glitch. Well, that's not true. I called first thing this morning, got the pharmacist at Walmart, and he straightened everything out and said, come on and get your meds. So that's what I'm doing. Dottie and I are headed towards Parker, which is, in my experience, I haven't really met anyone that uses the Quartzsite pharmacy. I'm not sure why. I don't have, I want to make sure you can see Dottie. Can you see Dottie? That's very strange. All right, there's Dottie. I want to make sure you can see Dottie in her bed. What are we talking about here? So I called and they said they were confused at what they were seeing. It was listed on their end, but it was not listed. Hey, buddy, how are you? I was talking to a dog. So I lost my train of thought again. So I got a hold of the pharmacist. He said it was some kind of glitch in the system. It was on his screen, mine. He checked to make sure they had the med that it was missing, and he said, come on, and we'll take care of you. Come on in. So I'm on my way in. It's 9 o'clock, 9:15, and we'll see how bad the traffic is on the construction. Holding my breath, but you know what? I'm retired. I can sit in traffic. I can sit and wait for as long as I need to wait, right? I got my dog with me. I got that new Radiohead that if I'm stopped in traffic, I can certainly watch some YouTube videos, right? And if it's bad, it'll be that I'm stopped in traffic, not slow traffic. It'll be stopped in traffic. So, so the medication I had a hard time with. I take a. You've probably heard about these meds on the news. It's a GLP-1 medication. I have type 2 diabetes, and I've been paying out of pocket for it for 18 months because my insurance would not cover it because there was like a $9,000 deductible, and it didn't even get to be part of the deductible because there's no way I could afford the brand name. The brand name is $1,100 a month. Because of the shortage on those medications, they were allowing compounding pharmacies to compound that medication. So I was getting it it started out about $400 a month, and now it's about $299 a month. But it's compounded. It's created by a pharmacy, not by the pharmaceutical company that has the patent and everything to it. I don't understand it completely, but the FDA made an exception that while these drugs were in shortage and patients couldn't get them, the compounded pharmacies could do it. And they actually called that off in January. The FDA said, there's no more we're declaring the shortage is over. The pharmaceutical companies have plenty in stock, so we're calling an end to that. That was in January, and by a stroke of luck, February 1st, I got Medicare. So my new doctor was able to write a prescription for that medication. Well, that medication is, like I said, the brand name, it's $1,100 a month. It required, I think they call it pre-authorization, where the doctor has to justify through my medical history and charts and stuff or whatever that this is a good this is an appropriate use of the medication. And surprisingly, I'll give you some brand names. My Part D is not an Advantage plan. It's a separate medication-only Part D through AARP, but it's really a United Healthcare um, uh, plan. It does cost me $89 a month. You can get plans for a lot less. But on the Medicare, I'm sorry, I should have turned this around. Sorry, there you go. I apologize to those of you that love feeling like you're riding with me and you can see the road. There you go. I apologize. I've been doing just the intro pointed at me and Dottie, and so anyway, so that got approved. I was giving you the name of the insurance company and everything. It's $89 a month. You can get it less, but on the Medicare website, the government at Medicare.gov, there is a tool that you can use when you're shopping for a Part D plan, for a drug plan. You put in the drugs that you take, the dosages and everything, and frequency and dosage and everything, and it searches that price through all the plans and they have in their database, and it'll show you which one. It'll combine the premium and the out-of-pocket cost for the drugs and give you a total cost. And the one that came up on top was, because I had this very expensive medication, was this one at $89 a month, but it saves me a significant amount of money. So I'm going to pay the $89. I'm going to pay the $89 a month regardless, and this medication is $46. So that's a significant savings over, I think it was $299 a month plus $75 for the doctor fee every month. So it's about $350, and this is going to cost me like somewhere just south of $130 a month. So that's a big benefit to me. Plus, I don't have to worry about the quality of a compounded medication from some pharmacy I don't know anything about. And the company I was working through changed pharmacies on me 3 or 4 times. And I was having a lot of trouble with it because I'm a nomad, shipping to the wrong address, and it was a nightmare. But just so if you're curious, if you're a type 2 diabetic, it's been 18 months on this medication, and my A1C was just measured this week. It's at 5.7, and I think that's like 0.1 over normal. So I'm really excited about that. Now I've worked my way up to the highest dose. It's so I'm hoping that dose continues to work on my A1C as well as it is. So you might notice that I drove straight through town, no turns, right? No turns, and I'm just going straight. I'm following this road until I get to Parker. I mean, it'll stop at a T intersection where you have to go right or left, and it's pretty obvious. It'll have an arrow pointing towards 95 and towards Parker. It'll be a left-hand turn, but that's really the only turn. You find yourself in the middle of Parker, and there's a big intersection that you make a right on. I think it's the biggest intersection in Parker, and up on your left is the Walmart. So I very likely will not be talking the whole time, but what I'll do is I'll leave the camera going, and what I'll do is if there's 30 minutes of me not talking, I'll speed up it. I'll do 10 times speed, so you can see kind of what the topography, what it looks like on the way up there, what to expect. But I don't think you want to sit and watch 20 or 30 minutes of silence with me on this kind of flat, featureless desert road. I don't tell me though. I mean, if I get a bunch of people saying, "Yeah, next time don't do the speed up. You don't have to say anything. I just want to watch the drive." If I get enough people saying that, I'll just leave it out there. I just thought it would be a nuisance for you, but I don't know. Tell me. Road work ahead. Here we go, folks. And I see they're stopped up there. So speed reduced ahead. It's 35. I can't tell whether they're stopped up there. I think it's probably a one-way traffic thing. And we might get lucky or unlucky. It depends. Be prepared to stop, it says. And I see the equipment up there. So if we're stopped up here to allow the other way to go, it probably won't be long since I think it's a fairly short line, but we'll see. Yeah, we're definitely stopped here. So on these things where you're stopped, and yeah, we're maybe fifth in line to go. What we're looking for is when traffic starts coming the other way and they finish with that, then they'll let us go. So it looks like I maybe just kind of missed it by a little bit, but we'll see how long I'll let you know how long we're stopped here. I'll start a stopwatch. We'll start it, and we'll let you know how long that it takes. These you hear a lot of negative and positive stuff in the news about the GLP-1 medications. There are some people that have pretty severe gastrointestinal side effects, which are very problematic for many people. I'm one of the lucky ones. I have none of those side effects at all. Even on the maximum dose, I don't have those side effects. So the benefits are it brings down your A1C. It also really makes a big difference in my appetite. I do not eat as much on a day-to-day basis. I've lost quite a bit of weight in the last 18 months. I still need to lose more weight, but between the weight loss and the medication, my A1C is finally under control. To give you, it was way over 7 before I started. Then about 6 months in, not this past December, but a year ago December, it was 6.2. And then just this week, now it's down to 5.7. And there's more, as they study these medications more and more, and they're not brand new, they've been around for a few years. There's lots of science and studies, and there's cardiovascular benefits, which is good too. So there's a lot of positive. The big negatives you see a lot on the news is the tremendous cost. It is, like I said, if I can go to my, I took a snapshot of the claim that I had for it. And the claim is total drug cost $1,089.13. It's for 1 month. And then the plan paid $1,042.13, leaving me a payment of $47. So it's an expensive drug. And I understand it's not as expensive in other countries. I guess I don't quite understand why it's so expensive here. This is covered under, it's also people take this drug for weight loss. And in many insurance plans, including Medicare, it is not covered for weight loss. They will not pay. There's actually the same drug, but a different name called Zepbound. Is the weight loss version of this drug. It's an identical drug, but a different label for different use, and it's not covered by Medicare. Many private insurance companies pay for it. because I think they're smart. And I think that when somebody smart really gets in to look at the Medicare thing, they will approve it for weight loss as well, because in the long run, if you have obese people not obese anymore, you're going to pay less out of pocket for their medical care, because obese people, I mean, they are susceptible to a wide variety of chronic medical conditions that are very expensive to treat. So that's my opinion. I don't have any data to back that up. All right, so I'm going to stop this, and when we're going, I'll come back on and show you the road, and I'll tell you how long I waited here. Okay, we just started rolling, and it's 17 minutes and 3 seconds. I kind of wish I would have counted the cars coming the other way so you could estimate, how far back you could be and get through in one shot, but I didn't. But I'd estimate somewhere between 50 and 75 cars came through. So definitely, if you get in line and you can see where the construction is, the vehicles, then you're going to get through. It's pretty slow going through here, as you can see. I'm going about 25 miles an hour, and we'll see how long it is. Before we get back to two-way traffic. And you know what, guys? It's good that they're working on this road, making it better, making it, doing maintenance on it. It's a good thing. I know you see a car coming on the other lane, but that's a construction vehicle. You'll see when it gets close. And I'll keep the camera on so you can see the backup going the other way, how many cars are waiting in line at this point. It'll be early, though, because they just went through. These things is one of the reasons I'm doing this part of the video is it's a good idea to be prepared for things like this. If you can be prepared for delays, you're not upset. Like, there's not an ounce of me that has any upset or disappointment or frustration, because I knew exactly what I was getting into by making this trip. I knew there was single lane construction. When I stay in Eagle's Nest for the last 2 years, going between Angel Fire's near Eagle Nest, but there's a road that goes from Angel Fire into Taos. And it's a winding mountain road that's beautiful, but it's been under construction for the past 2 years. And there's single lane stuff happening just like this. And every time I'd go to Taos, and Taos was the nearest big city. That's where the Walmart was, the pharmacies and everything. So I'd have to go there probably once a month, and definitely now that I'm getting my medications from Walmart, I'll have to go there once a month. in June, July, August, and September. I'll have to go there. Um, and it's the same thing, and it's about the same amount of weight. We may be getting close to the end. We've gone about 1.6, 1.7 miles so far. Got a lot of heavy equipment here. They're, and these giant things putting down the asphalt, I think that's so cool. Wouldn't it be something to be an operator on that giant device? That's so neat. Well, it looks like we still got a ways to go, isn't there? We're a little over 2 miles now. It'd be pretty hard to call this drive beautiful. What's nice about it is often the distance on both sides or all around us. Often the distance are pretty amazing mountains, but they're pretty far off. They're not close. We're at about 2.5 miles. This guy's going to pull out kind of in front of me. Maybe not. Maybe not. These look like guys coming out of Plumosa Road wanting to go into town. They're having to wait. So this would be a big drawback if you're staying on the BLM land out here on Plumosa Road, having this construction every day. And I don't know if they do this on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm going to guess definitely not Sunday, but maybe they do it on Saturdays. I don't know. If anybody knows, jump in the comment and tell me. And I think we have arrived, and it looks like the distance is going to be I'll tell you exactly when we get up here. I'm going to call it 3.7 miles is the length of the construction. And we'll show you here how many cars are backed up coming from Parker into Quartzsite. And I think that's it right here. That white van's the last one in line. And certainly that's not really longer than what I saw come through. So it's pretty good. Now we're back up to speed and we're on our way. It's not so bad. So between the having to go 25 instead of 65 and the wait, I would say it was about a 30-minute delay, I would guess.
This was a mission. I don't remember key term.
Well, actually, it is 27 minutes marked now from when I stopped. So you really can't call it a 30-minute delay. I bet I could do them. I have how fast I was going in the number of miles that I was going and at that speed. And I bet somebody like Ken can do that math and tell you what the delay was. But if he does do that, I'm going to guess it's going to come out to 20 minutes. 21.257 minutes. We'll see. And I could do the math, just not in my head while I'm driving. Heck, not in my head while I'm not driving. I have to really work that out. But it's what did I say, about 3 miles. And the delay is, it took 40 miles per hour off my speed for 3 miles. And then the initial delay. And I will ask, I know it's pretty personal stuff to tell you about what medication I'm on, especially a fairly controversial medication. Please don't send me articles and links and warnings about things that you've seen in the news. The GLP-1s are terrible. I've done my own extensive research, and I trust my doctor. I've been on it 18 months. It's made me healthier. It's a personal decision, so please don't send me negative news articles and studies that you've seen that say it's awful. I've read a lot on it, and I don't ignore new stuff coming through.
Prescription alert +1800.
Hello? That was, what phone number was that? I think it was Walmart. Prescription alert. Oh, it was an 800 number. I think it was my insurance company letting me know by phone that the prior authorization was approved. But they did that 2 days ago. Sent me a text, sent me an email. But it was, I was thinking it was Walmart were calling with that. They wouldn't call with that. It's the insurance company. So you hear a lot of negative things about United Healthcare, but so far my United Healthcare Part D policy through, I think they just use the AARP label. It's more of a marketing thing. But so far, my experience with a very expensive medication, I get it that there are ones that are way more expensive than $1,000 a month, but that's a significant amount of money. And they required, it's a special thing. They require additional documentation from the doctor, and that only took a couple of days. So I'm very impressed with that service. And they did approve it through the rest of the year. They approve it through the end of the year, which is, these policies are generally 1 year at a time. I don't know how it works. I don't know. At the end of the year, they may say, well, I'm going to cancel your policy, or I'm going to bump up your premium because you're costing us a lot of money. I don't know what'll happen there. We'll see. I do know that medication, like other diabetes medications, are really not temporary. Usually not temporary things. They're long-term treatments. Years ago, I was on, got to a pretty high dose of metformin, and it just it didn't help me as much as one would hope. .65 mile an hour speed limit here. Pretty soon we'll get to that where you're forced to turn right or left, and then it's about another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to get to Parker from that intersection. There was 1 year where the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, the RTR, if you're familiar with that, it's in Quartzsite at the town park every year. There was 1 year, the first year, where BLM said you can't do it on BLM land anymore, it's too big. So they went here to Parker at it's kind of a fairgrounds place that they rented out for a week near this intersection. And I did go that year. I believe that was my first year going to the RTR. And I believe that was 2020. Was it 2020? I think that it was. Keep thinking that this intersection is really close, and it's only because my judgment is based on how long it usually takes without the construction. So that's, if we didn't have the construction, we'd be past that point by now, I think I'm going to invest in another pair of jeans there at Wally Mart. Trying to think of what else I might need from Walmart. I can't think of a thing other than maybe a new pair of jeans. Is it me, or do jeans not last as long as they used to? When I was a kid, I wore them all the time and I felt like they lasted forever. Now they seem to kind of fall apart. I rotate two pairs. that I bought directly from a Levi store. They weren't cheap, but they seem to wear out pretty quickly. This, traveling a long distance to get a prescription, if you're going to be a nomad like me and you like beautiful remote places, you're going to be in lots of road trips like this just to go to the closest Walgreens or Walmart or wherever you're going to pick up your prescriptions. I'd like pardon my yawning. I like Walmart just because it's so easy to go into the app. When you do your refill, you tell them you can change the Walmart that you're going to pick it up at. One thing I did find out after my blood tests and everything and exam by the doctor is I was very dehydrated, and I didn't. Shame on me for not realizing it, but as soon as he started telling me he saw signs of pretty severe dehydration that day I met with him, I realized, I thought back and I thought, you know what? I can only remember taking a couple sips of water that morning and then working all day on a project and not drinking anything. And that's been fairly typical. That day, so here are all the things that conspired to a terrible physical in terms of blood pressure. My appointment was on a Monday. Sunday night, I could not get to sleep. And I probably, if I had to guess, had a maximum of 4 hours of sleep. I got up and thought, well, they're going to do a blood test, so they'll test glucose, so they want me to be fasting. So I shouldn't eat anything, and I shouldn't have any cream in my coffee. So all I had to drink or eat was 1 cup of pretty strong coffee. Then I went from that, ran around in town, got back, worked on a friend's solar system, right up until the time I had to go to the appointment. Went to the appointment, the nurse sat me down to do vitals, and my blood pressure was 153 over 110, and my heart rate was 126. That alarmed them, as well it should. And, I was trying to say, this is not my baseline. I have a blood pressure machine. I've been taking my diuretic every day, and it's usually, 108 over 80 something every day. And they can't really trust you when they don't know you when you say that. They didn't say they didn't trust me. But sure enough, I've been measuring my blood pressure at home every day since then, and making sure I was hydrating and everything. And it's back. It was immediately back down to those ranges. So we're coming up here on the intersection. So you can go left or right. You're going to want to go left to go to Parker. And as we come up here, if you're looking using Garmin or Google, you'll see the color of the land changes from, here on my Garmin, it changes from yellow to white. And that puts us, I believe, well, I'm not sure. I was going to say, I think it puts us on the Indian reservation, but let's hold off on that until I see a sign that says welcome to the reservation. Well, we got some people around me in a hurry, I'd say. I'm doing just 2 miles per hour over the speed limit just because I felt a little pressured by people passing me on the right. But at 65, I was doing a nice solid 65. So I see a white area that could be reservation. Then after we make the left, I see a darker gray area. So one of those is going to mark the Indian reservation. But there should be a sign associated with it. We'll just see. Whatever signs I see up here, I'll tell you what they say. And this says Parker city limits. And I bet that's the Parker, the gray shows the city of Parker city limits. That's what that is. So I think when we make a left here, we'll go a little ways, we'll go into the gray area, and I bet there's a sign for the reservation. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's one particular tribe. I think it's a collection of tribes that are close together here that all belong to the same reservation. And we make a left here, it says to the left, Parker and Lake Havasu. Now, Lake Havasu, I think, is another 45 minutes north of Parker. Dottie's just kind of staring at me while I'm talking. I get a kick out of those. You see these video clips. Usually they're shorts on either Facebook or YouTube, where a person will be by their dog pretending to talk on the phone using all the key phrases that they know gets their dogs excited. Like, yeah, we're going to go out. We're going to go outside and go for a walk. And then we're going to have some breakfast. Then we're going to go for a ride in the car later. And the dog, you see the dog just alerting like crazy. It's kind of mean, but it's funny. As I said, this stretch is about, if I recall, it's about 10 to 15 minutes to get into Parker once you make the turn here. You can see it's a little bit more interesting. There's actually a hill that we're going over. What does this say up here? Blue sign says La Paz County Public Works Facility and Fairgrounds. That to the right is where the RTR was that year. La Paz County Fair. And La Paz is the county that both Parker and Quartzsite are in. Yeah, this topography is a little bit more interesting on this stretch. The scenery. Coming up to that change in color on the map. We'll see if there's a reservation sign when that transition happens. I'm going to bet yes. And I'm betting this is the sign up here because I'm looking at the map, and right at the crest of this hill is where it changes to sort of a dark gray color on the map. And what does this say? This says entering Colorado River Indian Reservation right here. Colorado River Indian tribes, plural. So there's more than one tribe that applies. And also because no Indian tribe anywhere calls themselves something like the Colorado tribe. No. I'd be a little interested in maybe if I think of it or I remember, I'll do a little Googling of that and find out what the tribes are, how the reservation came to be, how big it is, a little bit about it. But I do know there's right next to the Walmart where we're going is the casino, which really by definition has to be on reservation land to be legal. And it's they have a buffet there on holidays that I've been to many times. There's also a movie theater there, right on the same property as the casino. If you want to go to a movie when you're in Quartzsite, and you don't want to drive all the way to Yuma, which is an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes or whatever, you can come up here and go to a movie. The speed limit through here is not 65 anymore, it's 55, double nickel. It is definitely a little bit more interesting landscape that you see here. There's, I'm trying to think what other things are available to you in Parker. I believe there are 2 car dealerships. I'm guessing a Ford and a Chevy, but we're going to find out because we're going to pass them both on the way in, and I'll verify that. There's also Parker Hospital here. So if you have like a medical, you need to go to an ER, you need to drive up here to go to the ER. And I hear mostly good things about it. The clinic that I go to, that I have my doctor at now, it's part of that. The Parker Hospital, it's part of the same system. As a matter of fact, phlebotomist was telling me when she drew my blood that after they close, she takes all the blood samples up to the hospital, and that's where they do the labs. And she said, "You'll have your results tonight." And she was right. I had them that evening. That's why would you have them? Why would you want to get your blood test results versus waiting for your doctor? Well, if you get your blood test results, it'll mark whether something's high or low or normal, right? Generally, if it doesn't say anything, it means it's normal. A high will be denoted with an H, a low with an L. And you can write down every one that's out of the normal range, and you can Google, and you can see all the potential causes. And some places will tell you what's the most likely, what's the least likely, what's the most serious, what's the least serious. You can do a lot of, so you're not blindsided by that call you're going to get from your doctor saying, hey, I'm reviewing your blood tests, and I want to talk to you about a few things that I'm concerned about. But if you do that research ahead of time, you know you're probably going to get that call, and you can prepare a little bit for it so it's not a shock, so you're really able to really listen to your doctor, which is what I did on this one. There were a few things. The one creatinine was high, and that's a sign of a potential problem with kidney function. And we think, when I say we, me and the doctor, and when I say doctor, it's a nurse practitioner, but you know what? I consider that I don't make a big distinction between my nurse practitioner. Nurse practitioners are highly experienced, educated, they can write prescriptions, they work under the supervision of a medical doctor. They're generally very good, and this one is very good. We both are of the belief that it's the dehydration. So the marching orders are for me to start drinking plenty of water every day. And then on the 24th, I'm going to go back and they're going to do another blood draw to see if that value has come down. If it hasn't, and it's not dehydration, then we'll find out what the next steps are to look at. And when I looked at the value, I think it was 1.4. When I looked at that, it wasn't, when I researched it, it was considered to be a concern, but not severely high. But you don't want to fool around with like kidney and liver function. My cholesterol wasn't perfect, but it was close enough so he didn't think there needed to be any interventions on cholesterol. And you can tell we're seeing some billboards and buildings up here. That means we've pretty much arrived, and that's what we're looking at ahead of us is Parker, Arizona. And I tell you, if you really want to take a beautiful drive to a place that has even more resources, drive up to Lake Havasu, because the drive from here to Lake Havasu is gorgeous. It's pull over by the side of the road and take picture gorgeous. And one thing to know about Parker right here, the Colorado River runs through Parker. If you go to the Blue Water Casino, it's called Blue Water Casino because it's right on the Colorado River. And you can camp down there. It's dry camping. There's no electric, but you can camp down there right on the river. I think it's like $15 a night. So here we have the Chevy dealer on the right. And if my memory serves me, I think we're going to see a Ford dealer on the left. So that's good to know. If you have you have a Chevy, you want a dealer to do work on it, or a Ford, you want a Ford to do, it's good to know that that's available here. And for the Blue Water Casino, look, there's a sign here that says Trucker Special. Steak and eggs breakfast, $4.99, Monday through Friday, 7 to 11. Heck, we could get it right now if we wanted it, right? I was going to say, guys, did I pass the Ford dealership? But no, I see it up. It's further up than I thought. I see a Napa on the left, and right past the Napa is the Ford dealership. So I was right. Memory served. So we want to get in the right lane and follow 95, continue to follow 95, like just as if we're going to go to Lake Havasu. And that way we can be sure to run into Walmart. See, it says up here 95. North Lake Havasu. Make a right at the light here. Now on the corner there, is a cafe, and I need to get closer to tell you what the name of it is, but I haven't been there, but I hear really good things about it, and it's just the name of it slipped my mind, and I'm too far away from the sign to see it, but as we mosey up here, we will see it, and I'll tell you what it is. It's right on the corner here on the left. It's odd that we seem to be stuck here, because I wonder if a car's stalled or something. Oh, we're not going to make the light. I wonder what happened there. Early Bird Cafe. That's what it's called. There's also a Pizza Hut here, in case you're interested. There's a Starbucks here at the Terribles. If you're not familiar with Terribles, it's like, why would I want to do any business that calls itself Terrible? I don't know what the origin is, but they have gas stations and casinos in Nevada. And they have an excellent reputation. So we're making a right here. And a lot of the amenities and places that you want to go are on this street. There is an RV supply place here that I do not recommend, only because I'm such a big fan of RV lifestyles in Quartzsite, and I did some comparison pricing, and it was a pretty significant difference, being less money for exactly the same things as that they have here. It's called Spanky's RV and Marine. I'm sure they're very nice people, great products, but my comparison pricing, the thing that I remember vividly is a Dometic toilet was like, there was almost a $30 difference. And on the right here, that's where the Safeway is. And there's a what do you call it, strip mall to the right here where Safeway is. And then across the street on the left, we have the Walmart. And then off in the distance, you see a big sign against the mountain there with like the neon on it. That is the Blue Water Casino. So if you were going to the casino, you would pass Walmart here and keep going and take your next left. You'd go into the casino. And this is the only entrance into Walmart. You do have to turn here to get into Walmart. Everything you saw on your left here were exits, not entrances into the parking lot. They're all exits. And here we are. I'm going to put a little AC on Dottie because I'm probably going to leave the engine running for Dottie's comfort. I tell you, this place, in January during peak season is just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Packed with people and busy and hard to find a place to park, but this is a good time to be here. See, look at all these parking spaces that are close to the front. That's a handicap space. I don't need that. But there are plenty right here. Right there. All right, I will be right back. All righty. So I was in and out of there in less than 10 minutes flat. I went back there, picked up a pair of Levi Strauss jeans, went to the pharmacy, picked up my 4 medications, and it was $113 total for 4 medications and 1 pair of new jeans. Not bad, huh? So that is going to be it for today's adventure. And this will give you a good idea, kind of the worst case on getting to Parker and getting your prescriptions filled at Walmart. So I hope to see you tomorrow on the next video. And as always, I appreciate you watching. Take care.